The International Conference of African Descent in Diaspora is an annual event put together by the African Diaspora Union. This year event is taking place at the Congress Hall, Nikon Luxury, Abuja. Today, the 2nd of November 2023, and the highlight of today's occasion is the formal launch of the African Diaspora Union in Nigeria.
The diaspora will never live out its great potential without being reunited with its African kindred. Without each other, Africans in Africa and Africans in the diaspora will remain the tail and not the head. It is fitting that Nigeria take the lead in this effort to restore nationhood to the millions of the diaspora who recognize Nigeria as their ancestral homeland. It is a known fact that 60 to 70% of the enslaved were taken from Nigeria. In fact, a DNA test taken by my oldest daughter revealed that 40% of her ancestry came from Nigeria. And since she came from me, that has to mean that my ancestry also is connected to Nigeria.
Among the dignitaries expected in this year's event is His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Governor of Rivers, Taraba, Delta and Imo States, diplomats from around the world and renowned Nigerians. This year's conference has at its theme fostering global partnership for the massive return of the Africa descent in diaspora for naturalization and economic development of the continent.
In 1619, the first slaves arrived on the shores of America, and now 404 years later, I stand here on these ancestral grounds, acknowledging to you that we have gained great substance. And we are ready to share that great substance with our kin. I stand here on these ancestral grounds to share with my African kindred the great substance of spiritual vitality, wealth of knowledge, intellect, and learning, and the material wealth we have gained in the great captivity. It is known that if the African in America was a nation, we would be the 15th largest economy in the world. That's great substance. Similarly, there are others of African descent in the diaspora who are ready to bring their wealth and substance they have gained back to their African family through their return to their ancestral homelands. These include an abundant number of successful entrepreneurs, businessmen, entertainers, teachers, lawyers, and other professionals. They are ready to bring their great substance back.
So can you tell us what this event is about?
Yes, this is African Diaspora Union, and it's a vision that is focused on reuniting the blacks back to Africa. Now when we say the blacks, we're not talking about those who left Africa to go abroad. We're talking about the African descent, all the people that were taken in slavery, their children, are the African descent. So this vision is focused on bringing them back to Africa, not just back to Africa, to be a part of Africa, live in Africa, operate from wherever they are in Africa here, and then of course some of them can decide to resettle in Africa. And Nigeria is the place that is standing as the forerunner to this particular vision we're trying to achieve.
That's nice. So tell us your expectation.
Oh yes, the basic thing we expect to happen is everyone gets into the know of what African Diaspora Union is about. That is one. And then of course everyone is able to pick that passion to realize that no, let's not leave our people that are in the diaspora. They also are part of us. Like Nelson Mandela used to say this thing. He said, the day Nigeria takes her place is that day where Africa will rise. And Nigeria is this core place where we are shooting from. Do you understand? Because we know how passionate things about Nigeria can get. So we expect that everybody in attendance today would get into that passion to realize that no, let's not just sit here and wait. We have people, blacks out there that need to come back to Africa to be a part of building Africa.
Okay, we're talking about Africa and the blacks, right?
Yes.
So now I want to ask, is every black person in Africa?
Is what?
Every black person?
Yes, every black person is an African.
Why do you say so?
I said that because, the world actually started from the black place.
Wow.
Yes, the world actually started from Africa and moved on to the rest of the world.
So what's this organization about?
Yeah, the organization is called African Diaspora Union. I believe much has been said about that already, but I think I can add a little to it in the sense that the African Diaspora Union is an organization that is an international organization with a president who is the Archbishop, and we have the special envoys to the European Union, Canada, USA. We have the ambassadors to Burundi. All of them are here. So, and then we also have each nation, the African nations, each of them, we have diplomatic administrators which head each. Like for Nigeria, we have a diplomatic administrator who would see to the runnings of the organization here in Nigeria. So that is a brief about the structure.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what's the funding like?
Yes, the funding at the start actually is a group of people, like-minded people that believe in this vision, that decide to take it up and then to run with it, put in our resources to make sure that it succeeds. But we understand, or we see, that this organization has great prospects. It's going to profit our nation. It's going to profit the African continent, just like other people have said, because we discovered that our brothers that are living abroad are actually great men behind the economy. If you want to talk about education, you want to talk about medicals, you want to talk about, they are everywhere. Yeah, they are everywhere, and they are great brains that were taken from here, whether not directly, but their parents were taken. And they know they are Africans, but some of them don't really know from which nation they are coming from. So it is a win-win thing. By the time we're able to get these people to return back to Africa, because most of them also are desiring, it is a passion, they are desiring to, they want to identify with Africa, they don't like it, Africa is backward, so they have the expertise. So we are going to benefit because they are going to bring back what they have. It's like the Joseph of Africa sent out there, even though they were taken out of as slaves, their forefathers and fathers were taken, but they were sent out there and they have become great men and they are doing well. So if we have them return back reunited, Africa is going to benefit from it so great because they are men of resources. They are men of great worth and caliber. So it's going to benefit the African continent. It's going to change a lot of things.
Positively. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so having listened to your powerful speech, you know you have it all in the States. So when are you actually coming back to Africa?
To change the power dynamics.
In words?
Yes. You see, in the U.S., we are the tail. When I say we, I mean African Americans. Certainly we've gained much position, wealth, prestige in all circles of life. But still, we are treated as, in many times, not as real U.S. citizens. And at the same time, we know that Africa has still not reached its full potential as a continent. Neither has Nigeria reached its full potential as a nation. And we believe that the coming together of Africans in the diaspora and Africans on the continent is a win-win. A win-win. We get a chance to leverage the resources, the wealth, intellectual, spiritual, and material to the mutual benefit of all. And at the same time, I strongly believe that in this next 20 years, Africa will be called to be the head of the nations again. It's an opportunity for us to be pioneers in this new renaissance of Nigeria, this new renaissance of Africa. Everybody being open to learning from each other.
Open to learning from everybody's culture,
yes.
Accepting everybody's culture
Yes.
as Africa.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
The good of it.
Yes,
The good of it. Yes, the good of
I
it.
love that. Thank you.
Well, we came for a conference of the African Diaspora, of the African descendants, and the formal launch of African Diaspora Union, which African Diaspora Union have been existing in many other countries, whether in the United States, Canada, Caribbean, in the UK, in the Southeast Asia. But it all began in South Africa. And then there are African countries where it is existing. But we know that Nigeria is the key, considering that over 65% of the people who are carried into slavery, what you call the historical African diaspora, those African Americans, African Europeans, and the Caribbean and the rest, South America, 65% of them or more come originally from Nigeria. So we are here to do a formal launch.
Alright, what will be the benefit particular to Nigerians outside of this conference?
I will tell you something. When the president of Ghana declared 2019 as the year of return of the African diaspora, I happened to be the person who declared in the opening prayer, and they prayed over the wall of the return of the diaspora in Ghana, in Accra, Ghana. This organization was, very instrumental to many that came back from overseas, the Americans, the Caribbean, South Americans, Europeans, who are Africans, returning back to Ghana. First, to be honest with you, the turnaround of the economy of Ghana began from there. Even the strength of the currency began from there. But unfortunately, I pointed out to them in Ghana that the history they are giving is false. Because when they were told that Ghana is their home, Ghana is where it began, as a guest, a special guest, I oppose it. I said, no, the beginning of the beginning is Nigeria and some part in Southern Cameroon. That's the beginning of beginning. Ghana was only a transit, an outlet, where the transatlantic slavery took place. Now, most of them who came into Ghana, they did the best they can. They had lots of investors and everything. And the Ghana government was focusing on investment, which is not what they want. But most of them did that. But there was no proper arrangement on how to sustain them. Even all the promises that were given to them, they were not implemented. Most of them. When over 100,000 people coming from overseas will apply for citizenship. And it took so many years for them to now announce 60-something up to 100, over 100,000. 60-something people have been granted citizenship, too many. That's not what they want. The African 12 disciples are also grand protectors of human rights. One of the things we will do, activities of September 2024, is to officially recognize that the world will know that these are the people who masterminded the saving of Africans. Then another thing, we are speaking to our government. That's why the Ghana government did not get it right. If you hear them and hear my speech, what the government needs to do is professional celebrities who are African descendants, professional footballers, entrepreneurs, great investors, and everything. Bring them in, give them Nigerian passport. You will see, they hunger and thirst to be Nigerians, and not just Nigerians with a passport. You will see America is respected, Europe is respected, they will respect Nigeria.
Okay, so I just want to ask you this quick one. Now talking about coming back, right? Now the big question is, what are they coming back to meet? Now this is it. Do you think Africa is big enough to accommodate our brothers when they come back?
I will tell you this. When we say come back, first, you embrace them as part of the people. I came in from United States a few days ago to South Africa, then I flew in here. I was here meeting everyone. Since 2004, I go in and out into United States, Europe, and everything. And what they want is to be part of this place. America was worse than Nigeria. America was worse than Nigeria. They started building it. But because they are not being embraced as real Americans, they are being considered inferior, not belong, discriminated and everything. They want here, they will be to say this is who they are. That's where they are stolen from. So it's not about the state, whether the roads are good or not. They are the ones that will build it. They are the ones that have what it takes. What they discovered or what they discovered and produced is what they will discover here and produce and put it right. History, prophecy, having that Nigeria will one day be a great nation. And Nelson Mandela have always repeatedly said, Africa can never be respected until Nigeria earns the respect. And that's what we are working towards. When they come, they're not looking for a beautiful place. They are looking for a place to call to say, this is who I am and is our land. They will suffer.
Okay, sir. So now, okay, sir, to Africans that are out there in diaspora, what are your advice to them?
The Africans already know that these people are part of us.
Okay.
20 people can look like you, anybody could think that it is you. So what they want, the Africans already know that these people are part of us, and Africans want to be like them, but they also want to be like Africans who they are. So the Africans, I'm an African, and I'm out there. The diplomatic administrator once lived in Netherlands. You can see those who are speaking, if not that they came on the podium and spoke, you would think they are Nigerians.
Sure.
So we are one. My name is Archbishop Professor Chidebere Nelechi Ogu, the president of Africa.
Thank you, sir.